Because YouTube is more broken than ever, if you want to see more Final Fantasy VII Remake, Kingdom Hearts, and The Legend of Zelda content, I'd really appreciate it if you can hit the bell after subscribing. That way you'll never miss another video again. Sora and Yozora. As different as two completely different people can be, yet at the same time, I've never seen a set of characters in this series that are so different, yet have so many similarities. So many similarities to the point where I'd like to present a new kind of theory for this channel for you guys. This is a new thing I kind of want to do after that whole Master of Masters is Sora video. I really want to expand upon that kind of concept here and bring a theory that I've kind of been thinking about to you guys and see what the community actually thinks about it. What if Yozora himself is actually just Sora from an alternate world? Now, of course, the series has already provided us numerous bits of evidence that could honestly lead us to this conclusion. We might as well start off with the not so obvious. When you take the name Yozora and you take the name Sora, let's break them both down. Sora is the Japanese word for sky, while Yozora is actually the Japanese word for night sky. They're the same, yet opposites. Like two sides of a coin that were never actually meant to meet. It might be me looking too deep into things, but when you actually go and look at the word Virum Rex, as we know is the world that Yozora and friends are actually from. Virum Rex is actually the Latin phrase for true king. And when you actually think about that and really digest it, you start remembering little bits of information that kind of resonates this with Sora as well. Whenever you see a lot of promotional art with Sora, especially with Kingdom Hearts 3 and all the remix collections, we often see Sora displayed with a crown on his head and sitting upon a throne. Taking it even further, you can even just say Sora's whole symbol is practically just a crown, as he always displays it right on his chest around his neck. And it's not just that they have in common. Yes, Riku may have more physical attributes in common with Yozora, primarily his hair and his body shape and even his clothes really. But when you really compare everything else about Yozora, even down to his demeanor, it kind of is more reminiscent of Sora, especially as it may seem Yozora has a more focused and serious demeanor. I think that's more relevant to what he's really got going on in his own life right now, which can be compared to when Sora is in the face of adversity. He has a very, very similar demeanor as Yozora was displaying in Remind. Even when we take a look back at the Virum Rex trailer that we saw going into the Toy Box world, we see Yozora with a group of friends attempting to save a girl at the end of his goal, and in the end she ended up being whisked away, which is highly reminiscent of Kingdom Hearts 1. Sora and his group of friends are going in an attempt to save Kairi. Both girls in both scenarios actually even have red hair, which is even a bigger similarity. Now here's where things get a little bit more complicated. When Sora and Yozora first meet at the ending of the Limit Cut Remind DLC, Sora goes and approaches Yozora. Obviously recognizing him from Virum Rex, he goes and says, okay, you're Yozora. Yozora is completely confused as to how Sora can even possibly know him. Sora goes and introduces his own self, which Yozora apparently knows him as well. That's when Yozora explains that yes, I've heard of you, in a more whatever kind of tone. But when you digest that, the fact that Yozora says that he's heard of Sora and then still proceeds to attack him anyway means that whatever he was told about Sora must not be entirely accurate. The fact that he says he's heard of Sora and still actually attacks him, why would someone who has heard about Sora ever do this? Sora is obviously someone who's saved the world numerous times over from darkness, meaning that whatever he was told about Sora must be inaccurate. So this means that there are only really around two scenarios that could really be the case here. It could be that Sora is someone that they need in order to accomplish their goal, but there's someone out there impersonating him, and that person is likely the person Yozora is seeing right now. Yozora must not really know what Sora looks like, as the fact that he was taken aback when Sora introduced himself, and even more so when Yozora implies, why are you using Sora's name? The fact that he says this line specifically means that he's already been debriefed about a Sora, and if you've been keeping up to date with the channel, then then you will remember that we already did a video about the nameless star in the final world. And at the beginning of this cutscene, Sora talks about this girl who told him about Yozora, which is implying that that nameless star that he spoke to earlier, the person that she was talking about was Yozora. And for those who haven't seen that video, we basically had realized that that girl, the nameless star, who's also the girl in the Virum Rex trailer, is indeed actually named Sora, which would also, of course, support why is this person claiming to be Sora? Isn't Sora a girl? Why are you using Sora's name? If anything, that would make anyone hostile, especially when Sora is supposed to be the person they're saving. But this would make a whole lot of sense if Yozora doesn't actually realize that they're from different worlds, possibly even being the same person. The other scenario is that Sora is an obstacle that he needs to go through in order to prove that Yozora himself is required to carry out a mission, which is supported by Yozora saying that he guesses his powers aren't quite needed yet. However, it makes things a bit confusing if you're counting the bad ending of Remind, where Yozora actually freezes and presumably kills Sora and vows to save him after doing so even, but most of the community agrees that one isn't canon, primarily because it contradicts what's happening in the good ending. But Sora not quite understanding what Yozora means when he says, I guess my powers aren't needed yet in the good ending, just goes to show once again that whatever Yozora was fed about Sora was done by someone who actually knows or is at least aware of Sora and his journey, and he wanted Yozora to either actually take out Sora or again use Sora as a test of strength for Yozora. Why else would Yozora be specifically told about a Sora? Yozora says again at the beginning that he was told to save a Sora, which could mean just about anything as he proceeds to attack him anyway, which again would support the impersonation aspect of this theory. Tying things back, if we make our way all the way now back to the very end of the Limit Cut DLC, in both scenarios, at this point we can honestly just see this is no coincidence. Both Yozora and Sora both say that famous quote about having these weird thoughts lately, and that is any of this for real or not? This is something that has been throughout the Kingdom Hearts series from the very beginning. And the fact that we're being introduced to a character who is saying this same exact quote and shares so many similarities to Sora, it's hard to deny the possibility that Yozora may be the other protagonist, Sora from another world. Now, I'm not too sure how long this video is going to be, but I really wanted to present the little bits of evidence that we got littered throughout this small DLC, mainly just because, again, we haven't actually seen that much of Yozora. So it kind of makes it a bit difficult when you have so little to work with. You guys know me. My theories are always kind of reaches, but I would never upload a theory about anything if there wasn't actual evidence to support my claims. I would never do something like this. Like, what if this is actually this? But I don't really, it's just a feeling I have. No, I would never do something like that. But definitely let me know what you guys think down below. Is Yozora actually Sora, but from an alternative world? Also, let me know if you guys want me to change the posters in the background. I've been rocking with the Majora's Mask for a while. So if I want to change it, I probably wouldn't change this one. I'd probably change the Dragon Ball one. I do have a Kingdom Hearts poster. I could put that right there instead. I know it doesn't really matter or anything, and just making the video longer, but if you enjoy the video, hit the like button for me. It would not only go to show that you guys enjoy Kingdom Hearts content, but it would mean that you guys like this new format of videos and you'd like me to do more kinds of videos like this, where I just kind of talk and present something to you guys and see what you guys have to say. Because again, I'm not just outputting some things I think about. I just like hearing what you guys gotta say. Not all you guys upload videos, so uploading something myself and seeing what you guys have to say about it is the next best way to see what you guys think. So if you guys would like to share this with somebody else and you think this is really cool or something, then share this video with a friend. It would definitely help me out, and subscribe. It would mean not only do you get to see more cool videos like this, but it would also make me quite happy. But thank you guys so much for watching. My name is KingdomAce, and remember, my warriors of courage, to stay strong, stay beautiful, and to always look skyward.